Have you ever had a goal in your life that you've wanted to go for, to run at, to leap towards, but haven't done so because of fear? Have you ever been paralyzed by fear? Have you ever been prevented from moving forwards towards what you know you would love to do and know you could achieve, but haven't done because you're afraid? If you have, you're a part of the human race, and I'm going to teach you a tool that I call Whopper that is going to help you to inoculate yourself against that fear and crush that fear so that you can move forwards into a brighter future that you see for yourself. So Whopper stands for wish, obstacle, plan and recover. And what I want you to do with the Whopper tool, I want you to get 3 sheets of paper. On the first sheet of paper, I want you to draw 4 columns. On the top of column 1, I want you to write down wish. On the top of column 2, I want you to write down the word obstacle. On the top of column 3, I want you to write down the word plan. And at the top of column 4, I want you to write down the word recover. Once you've done that, I want you in the wish column to write down what it is that you wish to do. What is it that you want to do? What is that goal or ambition that you aren't doing because of fear? Write it down in column 1. Is it because you want to quit that job? You want to ask that pay rise? You want to ask that person out on a date, etc.? Write it down there. Now we're going to start flushing out the fears. In column 2, I want you to write down all of the worst case scenarios that could happen if you move forward on that wish. Write them all out, between 5 and 20 of them. What are the worst case scenarios? What's the worst thing that could possibly happen if you move forwards on this wish? Then what I want you to do, I want you to move into column 3, into the plan column, and I want you to write down all of the plans that you could do to each of those things. So for every single worst case scenario, what could you do to either prevent that worst case scenario from happening entirely or reduce the effects and impact of that worst case scenario? What could you actually do? Once you've done that, I want you to move into column 4, repair and recover. And I want you to write down what could you do if those worst case scenarios happen to recover, to repair the damage, to get back to the status quo. What can you actually do to get back to recover from those worst case scenarios? Again, it's what you can do, not what you think you can do. What could you do if this happened? Once you've done that, I want you to get out sheet of paper number 2. And on sheet of paper number 2, I want you to write down all of the positive things that can happen if and when you move forwards on this goal, this dream, this ambition, this wish, this vision, etc. Write them all down. Spend about 10 to 15 minutes. All of the positive things that could happen if you move forwards on this dream, goal, ambition. To write that book, to quit that job, to ask for that promotion, to ask for that person out on a date, etc. And then we're on to page 3, and this is arguably the most important page. On the top of page 3, I want you to write down the cost of inaction. Now trust me on this, your brain hates losing stuff more than gaining stuff. So we want to ask what we stand to lose emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, health-wise, if we do not take action. So in the next 6 months, what will you lose if you don't take an action on this wish? If you do not ask for that pay rise, if you do not quit that job, what do you stand to lose mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, etc.? And then write down, what do you stand to lose over the next 6 months if you do not move forwards on this wish, this goal, this dream, this ambition? What will you stand to lose? And then project yourself 3 years into the future. Over that 3 years, 12, 24, 36 months, what are you going to stand to lose? What will you lose if you do not move forwards? Once you've done all of that, which will probably take you about an hour or 2, look back over your workings and ask yourself, do I still want to move forwards on this thing? And are those fears I fear really something I'm going to allow to cost me all of that stuff on page 3? When I did this exercise, there was no way in hell I was going to allow my inaction to cost me what it would have cost me over the next 6 months, 12 months and 3 years if I hadn't taken the action. And so I have taken the action, and I do take the action. It's a really powerful tool. I've used it for a very many amount of years, and it works incredibly well. So have a look on your own things. What do you want to achieve? If there is a fear that's holding you back, let's flush it out. Let's go whopper on it.